so weird, isn't it? You build a successful career or a successful business. You have a house, a family, kids, and maybe a dog. And suddenly, all of that doesn't feel as meaningful as you hoped and wished for. It's an existential crisis, and we call that midlife crisis. And in today's video, we will explore the 5 stages of midlife crisis and what it means for you to go through these stages and come out of them. And many people like us, being in the 40s or 50s, we have been trying to do everything right, and then we come to this phase where everything seems off. This can be very dramatic because actually you're giving it all, and at the same time, something inside of you feels lonely, empty, hollow. It's not the same as you thought it would be. My name is Sven Oliver Heck. I know what I'm talking about because I have been in this crisis a few times. Many of my highly successful clients that are in their 40s and 50s are going through these different stages. And when we know about them, we can work through that and come out of it with more fulfillment, more meaning, more happiness, and maybe also with knowing much more about who we truly are. So come with me and let's go through the 5 stages of the midlife crisis. Midlife crisis is the death of your old self-image and the rebirth of the new and more truthful you. What's so strange is you did it all right, and at the same time now you notice that you are drifting off. We all have to go through this phase, maybe around our 40s, beginning of the 40s or 50s. I myself have been going through those, and I will tell you a little bit about my story when we go through the different stages, so that you can understand and learn better what that means in your life and how you can work through it. Because we are human beings and we go through different transitions. And even that it feels like an existential threat and we would love to go away from it and hide, we have to work through that, and that makes us more aware, it makes us more fulfilled, and we learn a lot about ourselves, how we build connection and relationships. And when we do that, we will find a new way of living that is much more in alignment with who we truly are. For example, I right now on a Sunday, coming back from a 17K run. 5 years ago, I would have never imagined that I will run so much. But I notice that running is the best medicine for me to go through those kind of bumpy roads and learn to deal with my emotions better. But let's dive into the stages. Stage 1, denial. You're already feeling and sensing that something is being off. But in the first moments of that phase, it's not so easy to track that. Maybe there are little mood swings, depressive episodes. You're asking questions about what you're doing, the meaning of your work, maybe also the meaning of relationships that you have. But there is this kind of effect that we kind of trying to put it away. We don't want to feel those unpleasant feelings. And in this first stage, we kind of pretend that everything is fine. Even that there are more and more moments where we recognize, is this really what I want? Why do I feel so shitty about things that normally kind of fueled me or brought me some sort of satisfaction? We are not as engaged in things anymore. Maybe we are getting snappy about stuff. And those first signals can be very important because if we notice it, if we acknowledge it, and then we move forward in recognizing more what we need, and finding solutions for the situation will be very powerful. So the first step is, when we are in denial, to acknowledge something is off here and I have to take care of that. I cannot run away. But running away is exactly what we do because we don't want to deal with these kind of things. Negative emotions or bad feelings are so unpleasant that we go more and more into the next stage instead of really taking care. So the second stage, compensation. What do I mean with that? We are trying to compensate the negative feelings with certain solutions that we think they will help us, but they are not helping us really. Because we try to fix this issue with old means. So maybe we are working more, we are drinking more, we are running away. This is also the phase where people start affairs, where they buy stuff like a motorcycle or a boat or a new house or whatever, because we think when we are doing that, we will have a solution. So you might find yourself trying to solve those negative feelings and those bad vibes that you feel inside of yourself with even more of the old stuff. Doing more, working more, maybe also withdrawing from relationships instead of talking about what is going on inside of you. And of course, this phase of compensation kind of helps a little bit because we might get a little bit more numb around our feelings. We don't feel it so much. But actually, because we are kind of spiraling down, we are coming into the third stage, which is the breakdown. The third stage of a midlife crisis actually is the most horrifying one. This is the moment where maybe in our life things fall apart or internally we fall apart. Both things most of the time are entangled with each other. I give you an example. When I was leaving Germany, going to Mallorca, building a new life here on this island, I had a lot of stuff to cope with. People were yelling at me and I didn't understand why this is happening. And of course that was really painful. Then on top of it, I got robbed. I lost all my stuff, like all my laptops, all my data, all my cloth. It was a really profound experience because suddenly I was sitting there and I recognized oh, all this stuff that normally gives me security was gone. Then, of course, because of this tight phase, relationship issues happened with my partner, Alexandra. So I was really in this state where I recognized I'm kind of drifting off. I cannot hold it together. I was really forced to look inside and see what is happening. And I didn't have solutions. My business kind of worked not as well as before. So all my B2B clients kind of closed projects. So I also had no revenue or less revenue as before. And that was kind of super threatening. So I was sitting there in this breakdown phase, recognizing that I have to come to a center. I have to face what is truly happening inside of me and how I can move out of that, building something that is more meaningful and more truthful. Because in all of these different experiences that I had, I recognized that what I had done the last 10 years, of course, from outside looking very successful, was not the most fulfilling things that I could do. So I had been building something that was not really truthful to me. And of course, when I lost all the stuff, when I lost the B2B clients, when I lost friendships, I was really forced to look inside of myself and recognize what is it truly that I want in my life? Who am I truly? What do I really need? And I had to find new solutions about physical well-being, about emotional well-being, about the vision that I have for my future and what kind of work I want to do. What kind of people do I like to have in my life? And so the breakdown is most of the time a very critical phase when we are not seeing that and not using that for learning more about who we are and building step by step new resources, new ways of being, new ways of action. Then we are kind of losing the quality, or I would say the goal that is inside of the midlife crisis. And many of us, when we are in this, and you might know this too, we try to prevent ourselves from these kind of thoughts and things because it is such a threat to what we are used to the security and safety, the comfort zone that we are in. But the only thing that we can do when we have this breakdown is we have to do the inner work that is necessary to find out what we need to really step up, step out of this zone and building the new self-image that really is a fit to who we are now in this age that we are in. One of the most challenging aspects of going through midlife crisis is that we are coming into states of fear and anxiety. Because with fear and anxiety, we don't have a clear mind, we don't have an open heart, and we are getting stuck. And we might do old stuff again and again, or we might kind of try to flee out of it, but we have to face it. I have been creating the Beyond Fear meditation that helps us to face those fears and to work through them very quickly. The meditation is completely free. It has helped more than 100,000 people that were using it on Inside Timer, has a lot of really, really good reviews, and is really powerful. So with this meditation, you kind of really hone into what this fear means to you and you release it very quickly. I recommend to you to download it and use it when you are in this zone of being stuck in your fear, not knowing what's the next move. And you clear up your mind, you open up your heart, and then the answers that you are seeking will come. And with this, we are coming to the fourth stage. And the fourth stage is healing. And healing is super important because we have been in auto mode all the years. We have been hustling, going forward, doing the stuff, but in a way we lost ourselves on that path. And there might be emotional issues that we have to look into. There might be also like physical things. As I said, I really needed to do much more for my body, going into the gym, going for a run, eating healthy, sleeping well, because suddenly I recognize I cannot just work and find new ways of living just by doing more and more work. And in the healing phase, it's sometimes also about dealing with old struggles. And in our upbringing, there might be still certain traumatic incidents that we have to deal with. There might also be certain false beliefs that we have to crack open and recognize. Because when we want to grow into this new identity, into this more truthful self, that is more fulfilling, that is more meaningful, we have to do this healing work. And healing work does not always mean that we have to do therapy for 5 years. For example, when I'm working with my clients, we are doing 3, 4, 5 therapy sessions, and a lot can be done in that time. Without the healing, we cannot come out of this pit of the breakdown. And this process really can feel like dying because we have to work through, feel through, think through so many aspects of us that are also oftentimes very painful. Only when we do this, we can come out of it, grow out of it, find new vision, find new meaning, and build the life that really helps us to become who we truly are. This is what I call reality design. Building this life out of center, out of your source, not because of expectations from others, but because we know who we are and what is meaningful to us. Building this, I would say, like fulfilling, creative, and inspiring life that waits for us. When we are in the healing phase, we need to address very important questions. For example, what is truly missing in my life? What patterns hold me back? How do I treat myself and others? And the most important aspect here is that if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you cannot have a good relationship with others. And of course, one of the most important questions, who are you truly? When you find out more about who you truly are, when you go through this maze and collect the things that are important to you, let go of stuff that you are not anymore, you find home again. And being at that place of home inside of yourself is the solution for midlife crisis. When I was going through this phase and I really had to look into the mirror to see where I'm sabotaging myself, where I'm criticizing myself, where I have left certain things behind that were important to me, I really had to struggle myself out of this pit. And this is a lot of hard work. But I recognize that building this new self-image, this new identity, is something that is very much needed. We cannot kind of just stay there and hope someone will rescue us. We have to have the courage and the passion and the grit to go there. And then comes the fifth stage, rebirth. And this is what we are looking for. This is the moment where the hero comes out of the abyss, finds a new home, finds a new place. And it's beautiful because suddenly you recognize that all of the struggle that you have been going through, that all of the things that you experience in your life really have value and meaning because they are now coming together in a much more beautiful way. It's the activation of creativity. You find new ways of expressing yourself. You're becoming maybe more gentle to yourself and to others. You're not kind of pushing through anymore. At the same time, you're also more truthful. The things that you say have more meaning because you're not just saying them, but because you know it's coming from a place of integrity. So this is really this process of becoming more empowered, more rich in your own self-expression. We understand more of who we truly are. We are taking more care about our health, about our emotions, about the way we are thinking about ourselves and the world. We are also setting more boundaries. It's all about finding out more what you truly want. What kind of things do you want to have in your life? How do you want to spend your time? And in the rebirth phase, it's really about looking into the mirror, seeing yourself and understanding, this is who I am, this is who I want to be, this is who I can become, activating new potential, activating more creativity, doing something that is more meaningful to you. And that doesn't mean that you have to quit your job right now, but it means that you're really asking the profound questions that lead you to a better life. And this is what we really want. And this is also what the midlife crisis is for. So when you are at the verge of the rebirth phase, I highly recommend to you my Brilliance meditation, which is built to bring a lot of mental clarity and alignment so that you find this sweet spot, this place where you truly belong. You can do it daily, it's for free, it's very powerful, got lots of downloads and beautiful reviews. Mental clarity is very important because when we are all over the place, we cannot get those answers that are so much needed for going through this rebirth phase and building this life that is more meaningful and more fulfilling. So these are the 5 stages of a midlife crisis. And to really compress that once again, it is the expansion, the widening of your self-image, seeing yourself with new eyes, finding out about more who you truly are, trying new things out, letting go of stuff that is not serving you and your world anymore. And of course, this is tough work. And a lot of people are scared by it because, you know, when you are questioning yourself, when you're questioning what you are doing, you have to weed out a lot of stuff. So if you recognize I'm in midlife crisis, which most of us are at a certain time in our life and sometimes again and again, it's not like one clear linear process, I recommend to you to just take a moment and write down what is going on in your life so that you are becoming more clear. Ask yourself, where are you right now in your life? What are the feelings that you really feel? What are the things that you don't want to feel, but they are still there? What are the thoughts that are repetitively going on and looping in your mind? Be as honest as you can be. This is super important. When we are going through those phases, honesty towards ourselves is the most important aspect of really making progress. So you're writing it down, you let it all out, you read it, and then you see where you are standing. This is the first important step, acknowledging where you are right now, and then you can find out solutions and new ways of dealing with that. One very difficult aspect of going through midlife crisis is that we might notice that we have to end certain relationships. In my video about ending relationships, you will get more information how you know that it's the right moment to do that, and a lot more. So check out this video if you have relationship issues going on. It can be very helpful to you. Please share your wisdom about midlife crisis in the comments or ask questions. This helps us all a lot because, as I said, it's not only you that you are going through it, we all go through it. And just noticing that we are not alone in all of this is really, really helpful. Thank you very much, and I see you in the next video.